o'clock, is that all right? Let's get her going. Light is on. I'd like to welcome everybody to Tuesday, August 19th, Park Board meeting. Has everybody had a chance to look at the minutes? Any questions, any additives? Nothing? I have just one question. Oh, go ahead. Did the electric people figure out the short in the the baseball?
Yes, yep.
Okay.
That was a while ago, wasn't it?
Right.
Yep. Yeah, electric
Back
guys
in June.
took care of it. There was a break underground.
Okay. They didn't have to do any big tearing up or anything?
They dug
just-
it up and patched it up and
Okay, well, good.
easy enough.
All right, so I need a motion to approve the minutes from June. We have a motion,
I got a second over here.
motion and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, next, new business. KAC.
So, I didn't gather any numbers for this meeting until next meeting, just mainly because we got enough to cover this meeting, and I think we all kinda know what the outlook of the numbers this year was.
I did look at it preliminarily,
Yeah.
and it's
Not too
gonna
bad.
be worse than last year.
Yeah. Which I think everyone would have assumed that.
Right.
Obviously, we had a few pretty gnarly storms come through the last couple months. There was some damages done to the umbrellas, and it wasn't because they were up, they were down. So there's ribs, the structures are bent and things like that. So there's a pretty hefty cost once we break it all down. There's some things that we didn't find until today when we were closing up the pool, so like there's kind of a canopy over the top of the slides. Well, that's ripped all the way around where all the turnbuckles are. Now that's, that canopy has never been replaced. I would have to assume that that's a pretty expensive fix because it's kind of a custom-made canopy, but until I dig into what it costs to fix it or to replace it, I don't know.
We need a canopy on top?
I mean, yeah, it was
Weren't you
designed
gonna-
for one,
Well, I was
so.
gonna say, take the canopy off and just bring an umbrella or something up
Which,
there for the lifeguards to sit
that's
under.
that's probably really all it's for, is for the lifeguard or the person up there guiding the kids down the slide. So there's other options, and then one other thing was the umbrella for like the birthday zone that was ripped clear across. Unfortunately, it was the blue one, not the yellow one that's super faded, so I don't know if those can be fixed or if that's something that have to get replaced. But I had done some research as far as replacing those. So like the bows, they're $100 a piece, which is the metal frame that goes over every umbrella. No, it's a metal bow, and then there's a brace frame. So you're looking at $170 total for each rib, which there's probably 10 in each umbrella. So until we actually can take them all apart, figure out what ones we can bend back or fix ourselves, I don't have a full count. But I did do some looking into other options. So Dodge Center does it's like a shade mesh, so it's essentially what's the birthday zone. They make those for the umbrella tops. They're roughly $2,000 versus $2,400, so they are a little cheaper. But I think they let more of the wind through it.
Okay.
Now that might not help during some of those storms that we've had, but it's just an option for us to maybe transition over to
Sure.
over the years.
Check with other pools and see what they got.
Right. I just, those canopy or those canvas fabric, they don't breathe. So no air can get through them, it's just a big sail. So I think it's worth at least exploring other options as far as shade.
I mean, one thing we had talked about was maybe doing some pergolas.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I know, and I'm just going by like Sam's Club, you can get the pergola for $1,000, and then, you know, we'd have to install it, but then it's done, and you wouldn't have to worry about the shade at all, and if you're gonna spend $2,000 on a cover, you know, but I mean, that's something I think Ben and I had talked about maybe a couple of years ago even, so.
Because, yeah, I mean, those don't seem to be holding up that well, and, I mean,
But
it
that's
seems
a-
like the severity of the storms has just been more significant the last
Is that a tin top pergola? Solid
Some of them
top?
are, some of them are just the wood, you know, where it's just wood slats, and
So
it kind of
just
provides that
slatted,
sort of
okay.
side shade, yeah. And that'd be permeable, so then that'd be fine, I mean, you know, because then it wouldn't have any issues with that.
As long as the sun's straight up and you're sitting down and the sun's blaring down right on top of you, that's the only thing that's on the pergola in the direction of the sun, and, you know, and as for the metal one, if it was a solid top, I think that's gonna retain some heat, and you get to the mesh umbrella, at least that's breathable, you know, 'cause shade is shade, but you got airflow, so it's, yeah, it's a combination of, yep, no, I hear you.
The other thing is, I don't wanna get too involved into it, but we had 25 chairs that my guys found that are cracked. We're looking at, I'd say $3,000 to replace 25 chairs. That's something that, you know, I don't know about until someone tells
Mhm.
me. And unfortunately, I'd received an email about it before someone told me. And then the health inspector had talked about the life tubes that the lifeguards have, we have to replace those. So, those are probably about $100 a piece. I'd say we need to replace at least 5 of them. So there's some expenses coming up here, and I gotta see what I have to be able to do maybe some of it now
Get it all
versus
together.
next year. But that's about it for the outside stuff.
When the umbrellas are folded down, is there anything that holds them together, or are they kind of free to flop off?
In a way, they're kind of free to flop, and I think that's definitely what killed us with those windstorms, especially through the evening. And
What if
that's,
there's just some sort of strap or something that you can...
and that could be something that we could do, and that's kind of why I wanted to go to something that's a little bit more breathable, like our party or birthday areas. You know, air goes through those. I mean, they're not 100% shade, but they do allow some sunlight and air through, and that's kind of, like I said, they're cheaper. I don't know if if there's a tear in them, how easily they are to fix. That's something that I gotta research. But that would be something we need to look into, is when we put them down, tie them up, whether it's a rope or anything. But that's about all I got for the outside stuff. Inside equipment, the biggest thing is, I'm gonna move the snow cone machine next year. Let's see. I got 3 options out there, and maybe Greg, you can maybe point me in a direction or tell me what worked and what doesn't work. I didn't make enough copies for everyone to look at, so you're gonna have to pass them around, because I didn't really want to print out that many pieces of paper. But the ones that I printed off range anywhere from $500 to $3,000. You guys over there, you guys got the one that's about $500. there's a tub underneath, it's manual press, it's commercial grade, makes, what did it say, 500 pounds? I think it says.
Just as fast
Yep.
as you can press it, so
Yep.
it's, which isn't that big a deal, 'cause it's just you're dumping in ice and pushing
Yep.
it down.
And the options that I have are all, bagged ice. You don't have to have cubed ice or, you know, a special block ice or anything.
No,
I
have a lot of $1,000 ones. You said there was a $500 one too?
Yeah, that's over here right now.
Okay, no worries.
So the one that Tim's looking at from when I saw the picture, that's the one that we rent at the store.
Okay.
That contains the ice in a,
And
Like
it's
the
like
black
a,
box.
it's
The
a
see-through
tempered
case.
glass, but yeah,
Yep.
it's like a popcorn machine essentially.
yep, and with a drain hole in the middle, so as the ice melts down, it goes to the bottom, which sits on a tray, which you can hose it down to a bucket or somewhere on the floor.
Right.
So this particular one,
That essentially has a plastic tote that goes inside the stainless
The
steel.
back side of it, yep.
Yep,
and they virtually have to pull the tote out to get the ice and push the tote back in.
correct,
That one, you're just dropping it door off the back
correct.
by just pulling it down, and it's all right there, so, you know, I probably figure flies around, you know, there should virtually no flies sitting on water. It's all the sugars off to the side, that's gonna be the issue.
Right.
Don't know if I like the pull-out a tub, because it's just a wash tub. At least there, you see how much ice you have, it's there, you can shave it. It'll take you longer to scoop the ice into the press than it will for you to flip the switch and shave the ice, and there's your snow cone. So, it's not like they have to have a lot of stuff ready. You can go to the freezer, get the ice cubes, put it in, and say, how many do you want?
The only thing that I see beneficial about the cheaper version.
Here's the cheaper version if I hold it up, so.
The only thing I see beneficial about that is being able to get 2 totes and get one filled, throw it in the fridge, 'cause you don't wanna put it in the freezer, or put it in the freezer for a quick minute, 'cause the idea is you want it kinda thawed, you don't want it frozen, right? But then we can have more than one tote ready
And that makes
for
sense.
the rush.
And that,
So the mid-size one only makes so much
Yeah, you-
in so
you can
much of time.
send that over to the other side.
Well, we got one of the cheap.
Oh, do you have what you would, okay. And that makes sense too, you know, if you're gonna say, okay, and now, you know, when you get shaved ice, so if you press it harder and faster, you're gonna get a coarser grind.
Right,
If you don't press it as hard, you let it slowly grind down, you're gonna get a much finer shave. I just don't know the time frame of one top to a fridge or back out, and I can see just leaving the top, it's like, okay, how much you want? At some point, the ice becomes too watery to make it a snow cone to pour the syrup.
right.
That's hence the challenge of this, you know, pre-shaving ice versus shave it as you need it, I guess.
It seems like a lot of work for a lifeguard or a food attendant to know what temperature the ice should be at here, I don't know.
The ice is
So
just
you wanna go
froze.
back to the slushies?
Oh, I would just eliminate all of it myself, but I think you just do pop and ice cream, the ice cream cones, I don't know. I don't think you need to go with the $2,000 one, that's for sure. I think either one of the other two would probably be fine, but they need to have some training on it then, for sure.
They can't put their hand in this, can
Right.
they?
It's a scoop.
No, like in here.
Oh, no, no. So
That's what
that-
I'm worried about.
so
Some
what-
little kid who doesn't understand what they're
So
doing.
that lid lifts up and it's got a big
It's got a curved
cylinder.
push
that
bar
goes in.
that's
Okay.
shoving it down
Yeah,
into
I
the
just don't
head.
wanna- Yeah, that's my fear, is some 13-year-old kid thinks they're funny and shoves their hand in there. That's my
Well,
only...
they won't think it's funny after the fact.
No, they won't. Yeah.
Well,
I go in the middle. If you're gonna keep one, you have to do it. I go this middle one.
Well, then, what do we
No, no,
wanna
no.
do? I mean, do you not wanna do it at all?
How
Do
much-
you wanna eliminate
How
all of
much
them?
how much are you charging a snow cone?
I haven't got to that part yet. We're at the beginning process of figuring out, 'cause then I'll have to figure out what we need for ice. You know, this'll be a new process.
So in this case, you can just use 20-pound bag ice of cubes,
Right,
or if you have a freezer, there, but I don't think you're gonna probably be able, so you're gonna have to have a chest with ice, 20-pound bags or 10-pound bags, whatever it is, whatever's easiest to handle.
That's an awful lot to coordinate, to keep the ice stocked and
Is this gonna bring in more people to the pool? Like, is it gonna make it money, is it?
Essentially, this is eliminating the dealing with the slushy machines that
Yeah.
never work.
Yeah,
So either we eliminate the slushy machines and everything all together,
yeah.
or we replace it with snow cones.
Here's the downside of snow cones. You really only have that little cupped cup. And if they're gonna be walking inside the pool with it, you got the syrup that sometimes drips out the bottom stem as the cup gets soft, or you squeeze it too much and the snow cone syrup and the ice ball come out and hit the ground, which sticky mess. That's the downside of walking with a snow cone, because it's open. Slushy, it's in a sealed container in most cases with a lid.
Which we still see spills and issues with.
So, but I think you'd have just as many spills with this.
Right.
Because it's not in a contained cup, unless you, and I wouldn't suggest putting this into a cup with a lid, because then all this syrup's gonna sit in the bottom, and just be a cup of
Right.
shaved ice at that point, so.
I'd rather see us sell like a different kind of popsicle or like a different frozen treat, save the money, since we have so many other expenses coming up, and it sounds like we didn't do well this year. Maybe save the money, see if there's numbers to show that we need to bring something like that
Did they do
back.
any tracking on sales at all, did you all?
I don't, maybe Ashley can pull some of that stuff up through MyRec. She's got a lot more better grasp of the MyRec and being able to pull up sales, but I guess I don't know.
I'd be tempted to skip it a year and see if it affects anything. I
I'm
mean, you
fine
could always
with
come back and do it again, you know, I mean, but I think if you're still doing pop, all the frozen desserts we have, popcorn, stuff that's relatively simple, I mean, I don't know.
And we can throw more popsicles in. I have no problem with that. I'd rather do less than more. I have no problem eliminating things. I had brought up the snow cone stuff before, everyone seemed on board about it, and now we're saying no. So that's my only thing is,
Might be easier.
we should have said no prior to me
Yeah.
looking into it.
No, I think you're good looking into it, because there's a potential, but when it's 98 degrees out, you know, the ice is virtually melting before you can put it in a snow cone. 78 degrees is a different story.
Right.
The other side of it is the syrup. How does the health department carry that?
98 degrees, though, there might be kids actually buying stuff at the pool, where 78 degrees, we've got 20 kids that come, the same ones that come every day that aren't buying anything.
I don't.
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
Why don't we just next year just eliminate everything and maybe bulk up on maybe popsicles or something different and see what the feedback is, and let's go from there.
Because they drop they'll give money like crazy to the ice cream trucks around town, and they're not making fresh ice cream, they're giving you the freezy stuff.
Right.
So it might not be a bad idea, and even if we could get some of those different places, different vendors, food trucks, maybe once a week to come in on a Friday or Saturday, it might boost some people coming to the pool, and it still gives them some of those different treats.
Well, I know lifeguards would probably like going and reaching in the pool, into the cooler and saying, here's a blow pop or a freezy or whatever. Because the other side of this is you got the gallon jugs of syrup with the pump.
Right, no, this would be a lot easier just to be able to say.
Which is just more time,
Less
Ice cream
mass.
sandwich
Less
or whatever,
mass.
right?
I'm more than happy to go to that.
so.
I don't think you wasted your time looking this up, man.
Well, I think
No,
for me, it's just seeing the price of it, which helps, because I'm saying, okay, $1,000.
Yeah.
If we already have a freezer, let's not spend $1,000, let's try it for a year, see what happens. And
Well,
if we realize that the kids are missing out on that feel of getting a snow cone or a slushie, we can always come back to it, and then we've already fixed some of the things we need to fix to make a pool run.
Just so you guys know, we spent $3,000 on a slushy machine that hardly works.
Yeah, let's see that. And I don't wanna get stuck spending another $1,500
Right.
on something that the kids break or can't figure out, or if it sits for 6 months out of the year, doesn't.
I'm more than happy to go to popsicles and things like that, more frozen foods. That's
I think
absolutely fine with me.
it's easier for your staff maybe too.
Okay. I'd agree.
Okay.
They'll be just as happy, they just wanna spend the money. It's not theirs.
They're gonna buy something. Doesn't matter what you have, they're gonna buy something.
My kid 20 the other day, and she came back with nothing.
Well, that doesn't go very far anymore.
It doesn't.
Just a 20, cheapo.
So, teacher salary.
That's right.
Okay.
So, we had the health inspector come end of June. It really wasn't that bad. They have some more stuff they're looking at now, I guess, as far as like as far as the maintenance side, it's like, pumps, when your pumps were put in, things like that, that turned into a whole lot longer visit. But as far as like for the maintenance side, there wasn't, excuse me, there wasn't too much that was brought up. One of them was, like, last year she had told me we need to physically inspect the bottom of our drains, which are the suction drains at the bottom of the pool, at the bottom of the 12-foot. There's a couple in the activity pool. And so we made a hook. We we manually check them or whatever. Well, apparently this year that's not enough. So now we have to send a lifeguard to dive down to the bottom of the 12-foot and visually inspect and make sure that the screws are still there and all that.
It might have to be the, park supervisor that has to do it, just
My problem is
some
I'm
scuba gear.
far too buoyant to swim 12 feet deep.
It's not easy, I tried.
So that was kind of one thing. The other thing was we now have to have our shepherd's hooks, the life-saving hooks. They have to be 12-foot. Ours are about 7-foot, which that's not a huge ordeal. She had brought up the life rescue tubes. We had one plumbing issue, which we've fixed now. The other major thing was the pitting in the lap pool. She wants it fixed before next year, but she does understand budgetary issues. If we can't get it fixed, I just have to let her know that we're gonna plan on getting it fixed. There's pretty aggressive pitting
In the pool itself?
in the pool itself, in the floor, and unfortunately, I don't know how pools are built or whatever, but when that pool gets drained, water sits in that spot. It doesn't actually drain all the way down to the deep end. So there's some of that is the reason why the pitting is. We're gonna try to address it this fall. I don't know if it's gonna be a lasting fix or if it's gonna be a good try, it didn't work type fix, but we'll see what we can do. And then as far as the inspection in the concessions, there's some new things, like we need to have an illness log of employees. So if someone becomes ill, the manager has to record it and write down those things. So that log will be posted in the concessions from now on. But really, that's about it. So we did pretty good, I feel. But she was there for quite some time, probably 3 hours. It's one of those
She
days
do this
that
every year?
Yes. And she is ruthless.
I think I know who you're talking about, 'cause she's at Tahoe Asia too.
She's new as of last year. That's the first time I've met her.
I just looked to see if I had her email, 'cause there's just a couple of things that, we had to fix at the Tahoe Asia, but it was the same thing. Here's the illness log, and then she's trying to explain to them, okay, if somebody's sick, when did they get sick?
Yep.
What was it? They have 12 or 24 or 48 hours, depending on the sickness. When did they return back to work in the kitchen? I'm like, okay, you want to see if they're on Medicare or Medicaid or something too?
It's definitely getting a little bit
Frustrating would be the...
more intense, I would say, as far as their inspections go. But it is what it is. We have to
Yeah.
abide by it, and we'll figure it out, so. The only other good news is when we did our concession stands at the North Park, she had nothing to say, so that's great.
There's nothing I can pick apart there, yeah. Good.
Let's see, okay, so I think Ashley was emailed this from the PTA of the school district, the Cassamanerville Elementary School. They are asking for, they do a once a year fundraiser for the students and stuff. They provide chances to win prizes. They would like us to possibly donate 5 seasonal passes for the 2026 season, or if we don't want to do that, 50 daily passes, which gives each grade a chance to win something. So for the seasonal passes, it would be each grade to have 1 seasonal pass awarded, or for the 50 passes, it would be 2 students awarded with 5 daily passes.
I say no, because of the fact then I volunteer for a nonprofit organization. We're having a big fundraiser. Can I get 5 passes, seasonal passes for our fundraiser? We're having a silent auction. If you give to one, you're gonna give to other, keep going, and, I mean, it's gonna get out. It's the only thing. I mean, you know.
We've done this in the past, though.
We have, what has it been? Has it been daily passes or season passes seems like a lot?
It's $1,000, isn't it?
I would agree with daily passes as long as I get 5 as well.
Well, I think what's happened in the past, because you do run it's actually illegal for the city to do that, technically speaking, because this is the general fund, it's not so I know like Kathy at the liquor store, like I think she's sponsoring, I thought, it was in the bills last time, and I just looked at it, so the liquor store is paying for something for somebody at the school. So she's done that in the past where they've said, okay, yeah, we're gonna buy, whatever, we'll buy 50-day passes, and then just, they spend it out of their dollars, because it's not taxpayer dollars, then it's actually, revenues from the liquor store. And so that's one thing that, we could look at doing something along those lines, where we could say, hey, Kathy, can you help sponsor this, if that's something we wanna do. When do they need to know by?
I don't think there was a timeline.
Okay.
Did you hear of a timeline? No, it doesn't say anything on my, no.
Yeah, I do think that Janet's right. There is a slippery slope of the school's obviously a good candidate for something like this, but that's one of the reasons that we don't necessarily donate to the pros prom. Because technically speaking, if we use taxpayer dollars for that, then every nonprofit would be, it's actually illegal to do that. So like if the liquor store wants to, they can, but it's the city itself. Some cities, that doesn't stop some cities from doing it, because it's only illegal when somebody comes and says, hey, you did that, it was wrong. And usually most people aren't gonna challenge it if it's for a good cause, but I've always been hesitant to open that door, because there are a lot of nonprofits, But I think that might be the way to do it, is maybe we can chat with Kathy and see if she'd be okay with sponsoring it. She does a lot of things, and that might be a good way to
Okay.
deal with it.
So maybe that's our next step. I'll contact the PTA and just let them know, we're it's a general fund. It's not necessarily legal for us to do it. Not saying we won't do it. We gotta maybe research some other avenues.
Yeah, that sounds good. And I'd like to know what their time frame is too, just so we have a...
They do a fall program now.
My time frame is September 30th is our auction.
Might be a conflict of interest there. I don't know how that works, being...
Why? Profit.
No, you being on the board and...
Oh, I won't ask. I'll have somebody else ask then.
All right.
So, really, the next thing is the 2026 season. I talked to Carlin at the school and had her send out an email about asking for interest in manager for the 2026 season. I need a teacher, I need an adult, I need someone who's gonna be present. There's no certifications required other than your food certification. That's the only thing that I have to have required. But I can't, we cannot run the pool with kids anymore. It's just not feasible, especially with, we can't do it with kids that aren't even there, you know?
Can you put it out as a public announcement? Anybody interested?
I wanted to put it out there to teachers first and just see if I get any feedback, but my next,
I saw how much it paid, and I don't see a teacher giving up their time, especially because we're there until
what, okay, so
second
what,
week in June, and we gotta go back, well, we go back next week, but most of us, I've been back multiple times in the last week or two.
what do you see it being feasible for what would attract a teacher?
25 an hour would be probably the start, and then tell them more what hours there are. Like, do they need to be there in the morning, through the afternoon, do they need to be there during swimming lessons, like, I'm sure you probably get a first year, second, third, fourth year teacher, or someone who's close to retirement that just wants to do something in the summer, but it's, the longer you do teaching, the smaller your break gets, it seems like. And I make more on eBay than I do anything else. If people have side gigs, a lot of guys work at the golf course. Probably seen some of the former or current teachers there. I saw the letter, but that was the first thing that caught my eye was, I don't know if somebody with a master's is gonna wanna, you get how do I put this politely? You need a break from kids after a while. And that's kinda what summer's for.
Almost like alone time, would be, in a way.
Yeah, and we hire good kids, it's just, yeah, so I don't think that's an issue. But as it gets closer, I'm sure we'll find one. But it's a good starting point.
I'm hopeful, very hopeful. But I guess you would be a contact that I need recommendation, like as far as what would attract someone enough? I mean, 25 really isn't too far off of what the starting's at.
Yeah. Is it a 40-hour a week thing? How long do they gotta be there?
Nope, I had in there 20 to 30 hours a week, weekends as needed. They would definitely be more of a morning to early afternoon type shift. And that, I mean, that's something that I probably should have put in there. You know, I didn't put any necessarily daily hours in there, but...
So up to this point, it's been college students?
Yes, up in,
Well,
the
over the last 4 years it has been. Previous to that, it was
it was Josh Mitchell, and that was the first year I started, and that was the first year that, since I've been here, that we didn't have any issues, so.
Different.
I'll rephrase that, didn't have any, issues.
Yeah, I mean, Josh's last year was a challenging year for him and for the pool. We had that unfortunate suicide, but, yeah, I mean, there is something to be said for having an adult. I don't think it doesn't have to be a teacher, but I mean, I think that that's what we want to try it for. Somebody, even if they're gonna be there for 2 or 3 hours a day, it's really all they need to be there. Once it gets going,
I think
unless it's going well.
A reminder.
If it's not going well, then yeah, you're gonna have to spend more time there, but.
I think another email closer to
The start of school?
January,
Okay.
because you're usually looking around January, February for your next manager, right?
Well, so we do the hiring in December.
Oh, we do? Oh, gosh. Okay. So I put it out there at
What about like
Thanksgiving.
November?
Yep, send another email to Carlin and Thanksgiving and put some more detail in. I don't know. It's not really, They can swim for free.
You wanna wait that long to see if we get a teacher response, or do you wanna just put it out to the public too?
I think maybe we do both.
Same time you send,
In November, we do it to the public and to the teachers again.
Just to see what kind of feedback you
Yep.
get, that would be,
I
would be
think,
interesting.
it'd be
Is that
good
something that
to,
we could put in like the newsletter that goes out with the bill?
Oh, sure, yeah, no, I think that would make
for
sense.
the city's Facebook page.
Yeah.
I did see a comment of how somebody complained about the kids were running the pool, and that's not good. I didn't say anything, but I mean, I did see a comment about that, and I just didn't know anything, so I don't comment.
It's hard, 'cause,
Well, the
Here's
kids
the
run the
deal.
pool, I mean, every pool in
Facebook is
Minnesota
terrible.
gets run by the kids, let's be honest.
Yeah.
yeah, and people don't realize that until something happens, and they get upset, and they don't realize that they're not willing to find a solution, they just find the problem.
But, you know, Facebook, a lot of people look at Facebook. I think
Which is
maybe,
unfortunate, to be
Yes.
honest.
well, I mean, I think the city, you know, Facebook page would be a good place to post it as
It
well.
would, yes.
Sure.
You know,
Okay, well then I'll get something gathered again for November to the public and to the teachers again.
Yep.
Just
Okay.
to reach out. I really think it's crucial that we have an adult manage the pool. And they don't need, that's the thing is in the past, and I don't know, was Mitchell ever certified in everything, do you know?
Well, I'm pretty sure he had his food for sure.
Right.
I know he had that.
I know he had that.
And he was a lifeguard before, when he was
Okay.
younger, so I mean, I would imagine he probably was, and he probably got the Red Cross too, I would think.
You know,
But I don't think you have to. You
No.
know, that's why you have to have good assistant managers too.
I just want, and I think we have the assistant managers, I just think we need an adult to push them to do the things they need to do, and not, yes, sit back and do whatever it is, phone, whatever. But, so I'm hopeful that next year we can potentially find someone that might be a little longer lasting and present.
Dumb question, and I don't mean to be, I'm asking this, do we stress it enough when we do their interviews and then when we do their training, that this is something staff-wise, lifeguards, you gotta clean, you gotta do this, like...
Yeah, so I was a lot more present this year than I have been in the past, and it didn't change a dang thing.
Yeah.
Whether it was going to Hardware Hank to get them brushes to scrub the bottom of the frickin' pools. You know, I'd go in there and see the same assistant managers sitting on their butt doing nothing, and I'd have to say, well, what do you got to do?
Yeah.
No one's here, this would be a time to get out and do whatever.
We had enough staff where we don't have to hire 65, 70 people if they're not gonna do their job.
Right.
I mean, I know that was one thing, and I went to the pool frequently with my kids, and it wasn't every time, because I mean, sometimes, early in the season was a little bit better, but towards the end of the season, like,
They gave up.
there was a lot of times when I said, like, right before festival, you know, it was the next day was Friday, I was there on Thursday night, and I mean, there was popcorn everywhere, and I mean, I said, there's nobody buying concessions today, it's, you know, it's 70 degrees out. I said, get your guys out, you know, they don't need to be standing there, you leave one there, but there's 4 of them that are standing around in the concessions, go out and have them sweep up popcorn. I want it to look good for the weekend, you know, and it ended up raining that night anyway, so it
Wow.
didn't matter anyway, it would've washed it all away anyway, but I mean, you know, it's that kind of stuff that, yeah, having somebody come in and kind of chide them along a little bit, you know, they're kids, you know, and dirty is different for everybody, right? What's really dirty, you know?
I'm not a teacher, and nor would I pretend to know how to speak to kids, or I may come off as a jerk or whatever, but that doesn't really bother me. But apparently that doesn't matter to them, so.
Yeah.
yeah, you gotta have the authority to make them work, and sometimes they're just not gonna listen to you no matter what.
If you're not there,
They don't
they're
have to
not
come
gonna
back.
listen. That's the
They
problem.
don't have to come back to work if they're not gonna do their job though, too.
So, let's just we're past that now. Tim and I had talked about potential discount rates during the fair and the festival to maybe draw some more outside folks and, you know, residents into the pool during that time of the year. Is that something we would want to potentially look at?
I think the issue with the fair time is they wanted to avoid everybody who was a fair worker coming in and taking showers and stuff at the pool. So, I don't know.
I guess why would that be, I'm not sure why that would be a big issue.
Because it was overloading, at one time, I think it was overloading the bathrooms and the showers, because everybody was just coming down there.
When was that?
Was that
For some
before
reason, I
they
wanna,
put
right
the-
after the pool opened up or a couple years later, everybody's like saying, no, we shouldn't have all these fair workers coming down to the pool and showering and stuff. If they wanna go swimming, that's fine, but a lot of them were just coming down.
The only rebuttal I have to that is that the fair has showers at the fair now. So,
Yeah, I mean, I guess, to me, that'd be interesting to see how they did that, because, I mean, the fair workers are gonna be working during the fair hours, I would imagine. And I mean, we're gonna be closing at 7:30 or 8 o'clock. It would it would seem to me to be more difficult for them to run down there. I don't know, I mean, it was one thing I just thought of, because, you know, I went up to the pool during the fair, and during festival, for that matter, and there's 1,000 cars parked out there, and there's thousands of people milling around who are from other parts of the county or from Rochester, and we got 25 people in the pool, and yet we're still staffing at 8 lifeguards, 2 managers, and 5 concessionaires, and it's like, you know, I want this to be fun for the kids, and if we can advertise and say, hey, come to the fair and then come cool off, or hey, you know, do you don't wanna spend $40 on a pizza at the fair? You know, come on down and, you know, get a pizza for 10. Or I don't know, you know, I mean, if we're gonna be staffing at the full amount, I feel like that we might as well have people in there swimming. And I mean, I get your point, Chuck, and that's something we'd have to watch. I guess that'd be something I would say, and if that ends up being a problem, then, yeah, I wouldn't do it again, you know what I mean? But,
Could we,
I know it's been a while, oh, I'm sorry, Ryan, go ahead.
could we do it where it's like the family night where they can bring stuff to that night, that day? Like, hey, this is a discounted day and you can also bring your floaty, or do we still do that?
I don't see
Why
why
not?
not.
They get more, 'cause we're competing with the fair, like, for people to wanna go there. Festival, it doesn't make sense to me that they're that light, like, there should be more people at the festival. But
yeah, I don't know, I mean, are we really competing with them? I mean, how many people stay at the fair for more than an hour or two? I don't know, I mean, who knows? You know, it depends on the weather. The weather drives so much of it. If it's 70 degrees out, the pool's gonna be empty. It might be a great day at the fair, but it's gonna be too cold for the water.
Seems like it always rains during the fair.
Right, that too.
I like
It's just a
the
thought.
idea.
You know, I said, hey, if we're gonna be staffing at the full, we might as well try and get as many people in, you know, to a certain degree, because obviously our max cap is 450 people. We got 25 people swimming in the pool, we got 8 lifeguards. I'm looking at the numbers going, hey, I need to get some more people in here. It's not gonna affect operations at all, because we're still staffing. The fountain's on, the water slide's on, the pumps are on, I mean, whether we got 100 people in the pool or 25. And I want it to be fun for the kids, you know, I mean, if some kid who doesn't, you know, who lives out on the farm doesn't get into town much, maybe their mom and dad say, hey, we'll go to the pool afterwards. I don't know, you know, I mean,
No,
it's for the
fine,
children
yeah.
really at the end of it, you know. Same thing with the fair, or the festival, it's like, that's the same week where people are starting to go back to school and, you know, depends on how warm it is. You know, if it's 90 degrees, like today was a good day, probably would've been okay at this
yeah.
weekend it's gonna be 65, so, you know, you just don't know.
I'd like to see that, us try something
Yeah.
on those weeks, yeah.
So, I mean, we can delve a little bit more into what we wanna do down the road, you know, before we get ready to open up
Sure.
the season and before I guess essentially I need to know before the first.
Yeah, I think we're just looking for feedback, just
think
kinda
it's
put that worm in your mind a little bit, think about it and come back to us, and if
Think
you
about
think of...
options, you know, what would entice you or your family to come to the pool during the fair.
I think we also look at being open the nights of school in June. 'Cause usually we open after late Memorial Day.
Yep.
Maybe we open from 4 to 6 or 4 to 8, 'cause there were some warm days, and then also work with the school at the end of the year to have the opportunity for pool parties from the school. 'Cause I know 7th or 8th grade went there,
Yep.
and they loved it.
Yeah, but that was actually something I was gonna bring up that I didn't have added to the agenda, Chuck, so. Yeah, and it kinda talks a little bit about this, so, I was over in Oshkosh, Wisconsin over the weekend, my folks live over there, and, you know, we went to the water park there, and of course, that's a much more populated area, but they were doing sponsorship nights, and that was something I thought about, was, hey, what if we say, KM schools, let's do a KM school night, and, you know, we'll give you 50% off, and they can have teachers and parents come, or whatever, anybody who wants to, you know, KM Telecom would be a good one to talk to and say, hey, do you want to sponsor a night? We'll put their advertisement up, they can, you know, give us a certain amount, whatever, baseline, to, you know, and then their employees, the city, you know, people they can, you know, the chamber could do something like that. I was like, doing some sponsorship nights where they say, here, you know, here's $500, and we say, yep, it's KM Telecom night, and, you know, I just, you know, I think a lot more, you know, we just like the festival. I mean, a lot of their stuff's sponsored by somebody. You know, the fair, a lot of things are sponsored by somebody. Now, that's how they really kinda keep it going. It's not that they're making a lot on the concession sales or whatever, you know, if you can get a few of those nights where there weren't a lot of kids a lot of the nights I went. You know, it was nice because I got to swim, you know, wasn't pushing and shoving, but my 4-year-old, you know, she's just going all over the place, but I was thinking, so I was over there and they were doing a sponsor night. It was the Oshkosh Corporation that said it, that, you know, and they must have given the pool some amount of money, and they put the Oshkosh banner up, and it was all the Oshkosh employees that came and swam for free then. You know, and to me, like, you know, we've got this asset, we want people to use it, you know.
That's probably a good idea, I like that.
Yeah.
Well,
Versus-
McNeilius sponsors fair every Saturday night, so,
What's that?
McNeilius at the fair every
Well,
Saturday.
you know, and then,
They've got a
and it wouldn't just have to be
they've got a
companies in
big-
Casson, and we could talk to them, or, you know, talk to, I mean, you know, we don't have a huge number of big companies, like Rochester or whatever, Mayo.
No, but
You could say Mayo's got their
Put something
facility here,
together.
Mayo, you know, that's, for them, that's nothing. You know, and it's a healthy thing for the kids to swim. I think that right in their wheelhouse.
You get Taylor Corp and Byron.
Yeah, and Byron doesn't really have a big pool presence, so I mean, yeah, I mean, I thought that was something maybe we could look at doing, some sponsored nights, and that's nice for us, 'cause we got the revenue coming in, and the pool, it's not that we're gonna close it to anybody else, but we just make sure that, you know, those folks can identify and say, hey, I'm a whatever, I don't know, something to try to think about.
But have we reached out to Manorville lately to see if they, with the city of Manorville, to see if they would like to join in on paying for some of this, the infrastructure of the pool, and then we give Manorville residents the same discount we give Casson residents? We saw people complaining this summer about pool hours. A good chunk of them didn't even live in town.
Right.
Like, they weren't people that live here, they live in Manorville and other towns, and they were complaining. If we could find a way to join up with Manorville, if they had any interest in that.
You know, I reached out to Byron about that, and they have expressed a little bit of interest at some point when their pool potentially closes over there.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't reached out to Manorville, we have a hard time getting a hold of them for other things too, so, but, I mean, they have a new mayor, and I talked to him a couple weeks ago, and, you know, he said, it seems like, I can certainly reach out to him.
Or
yeah.
even at the joint venture, saying, hey.
Yeah, that might be a good
like,
idea.
Here's
Yeah.
the school, you could benefit from this, like, I don't know. If they're gonna ask for pool pass discounts and that kind of stuff from the school, maybe we see if they wanna start supporting the pool a little bit with their joint ventures.
We got a lot to think about before spring.
Right.
I can bring that up to Manorville when we have our next.
Just to see, 'cause then their residents get what they want, they want a little bit of say in what we do over here in Casson, well, then you can have a little bit of say.
Okay,
All
I'm
right.
done with the pool.
Done with the pool.
Until next meeting.
At least
All right.
till next meeting.
Youth, youth sports programs, green
This
space.
is getting to become more of a need now. So youth soccer has been growing. They approached me about needing some space, 'cause they're running out of space at the school, which is fine. They're utilizing the space at North Park behind the well for their little kids for
Oh.
soccer. I guess my question is to you, was there any agreement with youth football utilizing Northwest Park and getting the football field at North Park?
I don't
Nothing
think
that-
so.
Nothing that comes to my
The
mind.
only reason why I asked is because they have a shed out at that Northwest Park that says youth football, whatever. They store some stuff in there. I talked to the president of the youth program and told him, next year you guys don't get that field. Next year, that field will be for soccer, and you guys can utilize your football game field. If you have a problem with it, then you guys gotta start paying or something, because they don't give us any money for anything, and they're utilizing tons of green space that could be for other programs. So,
You're talking about that field at North Park.
yep, that field that we
So-
put a lot of work into every year for
Right.
them to play one day a week on.
Okay.
They're gonna be using that for practices and games.
Well, they should.
Well, it's like having, football practice on the football field, you play your games on the same field.
Well, no. Usually you practice on the practice field, you don't practice on
Right.
a football field, but.
Unless it's turf.
Do we have a practice field
Well,
for
in
the high school?
1980, that's what we did. We didn't have a practice field.
Yeah.
Because I don't know that we
Well,
do either.
suffice to say, I mean, I think that the utilization's low enough that they probably will be fine. You know, I think the goal is if you have a grass football field, you don't wanna tear it up for, Friday night or Saturday night, but I mean, for those kids, that's not gonna be a big issue, I don't think.
The amount of work that we put into that game field, it's not utilized.
But you stripe it, don't you?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And they don't pay anything for that?
No.
Really? Well, that seems very generous.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was before me, so I just, yeah.
It might be a good time to get all these programs that want green space together in one spot, because they come separately and ask for space, and we have to tell them the same answer, there isn't any. Well, what's their solution? Their solution's always to come ask us.
Yeah.
So
If we could get everyone together and
I
find a
will
better
say,
solution.
I do have a solution down the road, which would be Lions Park.
Right, I was gonna bring that one
That
too.
would be perfect for soccer fields, but we have to get someone in there to come in and level it. And remove the discourse. That does not need to be there. That's my opinion.
We had someone come ask about expanding that.
Yeah, well, that's one person versus a group of families that
Yeah.
their kids
No.
play soccer.
I know.
But we could get, 4 or 5 fields of soccer out there if we can get it leveled off, and plenty of parking and everything, and we wouldn't have to do anything with it. I mean, it's just a huge space. How many people you see out there playing disc golf?
I've honestly gone through, and there's been a couple, but you could disc golf season and football season. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure with the soccer field,
Or
there's
soccer,
certainly multi-use, that they're gonna have cones and line it, and you might even be able to leave, depending on how they slated it out, you might be able to just leave and just say, hey, they're playing football, you can't do disc golf right now. I mean, there's gonna be people playing common sense, I'd hesitate to tear it out completely, but I've looked at that for baseball. Because, I mean, if you were gonna put some simple baseball practice fields in, that'd be a good, just put the backstops and benches, and then if it floods, because we know that's the same thing with soccer, like that area's an overflow area from Maston Creek. Everybody's, if you drove past it, you saw Maston Creek was topping the banks in the last 3 days. That area's gonna be wet.
Right.
Now, 99% of the time it's fine, but then but if it's soccer or it's an outfield for a baseball, it's not gonna matter if it's a little wet. mean, I've
I
done some
just
sloppy
think
fields before.
soccer would be the perfect spot for it, because if we can get it level off, I'm not saying build it up, build the field like we did out at Northwest. Just get it leveled off so kids aren't rolling their ankles and things like that.
Right.
If it floods, it floods. I mean, that's the nature of the beast, but it would be perfect property to have field space for youth soccer.
Well, I think that's something we have to follow up on more, is the Lions Park utilization, for sure.
And what level of youth soccer were they looking?
So right now, like I said, behind the well at North Park, it's little kids, like, 6, 7, 8-year-olds. And then they're looking for like 10U, 11U, and 12U.
Those are all different fields.
Yes, they're different size fields, yep.
Yeah, they're not the same, width-wise, goal size-wise, like, they're all different.
Some of the problem with that far north part of North Park is that Tony Bigelow owns that parcel back there, and that's gonna develop.
Which one? Like the
Talking about behind the well.
That's not even our property?
Some of it is, some of it's not.
Oh.
There's a draw that goes in there.
Yeah,
On the other side of the draw is all his, and then that squares off funny. So,
well, and there's plenty of space for those little kids.
sure, no, I'm not saying there isn't, but I mean, that's something when that develops, it'll adjust how many people are comfortable having that in their backyard,
No, city property.
Well, I love it, you get, on both sides of the coin here, Ben, with some of these
You
things.
can be a jerk, huh?
Another
Well,
thing
it's
is-
true, though. It's true, you buy up against the backside of something,
Yeah.
it's not a...
Well, I mean, I think we could come up with some solutions, for sure.
Joint ventures, ask about their fields behind the church, like, that is the most poorly designed 3-foot soccer fields I've ever seen,
Where at?
behind the church.
but they still use them,
I know, but it's not, they're not used a lot, because they're not They're not good fields. I coached there for 13 years. I've had kids on there. They're not great fields. They could be redesigned, repurposed. So I don't know.
Is that school property or church property?
That's school property, I believe.
Yeah, they own behind the Catholic Church, yeah.
Yeah. Because our soccer practice got canceled this week because even the field by the school, the old baseball field, is too wet.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter where we put a soccer field. If it's too wet, they can't play.
Right.
Well, and that's,
I like the idea of Lions
that
Park.
is what it is, but like I said,
Lions Park would be a good spot.
Lions Park has a lot of green space that we could utilize.
Do we have water there?
No.
That's my only thing, is no matter what we put there, we should have water there for a sport. No matter what sport it is, it should have some kind of running water to get water if you're thirsty. Right?
I mean, I don't
Eventually,
disagree, but
Eventually, not right away.
I was gonna say.
'Cause it
running
costs
water
us.
is probably easier to get there than anything else.
Sewer will be more difficult than the water,
Yeah.
but because of
Just
how
at least
low
you have
it is.
water to drink, like.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think we've talked about that. Right now, it's gonna be an expensive proposition to bring the services there.
Yeah.
But I think, we certainly wanna do something in the future there, for sure.
Bring all the different groups that wanna have space there, and what are they gonna do to help? They want that space.
Right.
But I think that what you talked about, having the football shift to their playing field makes sense in the short term. That'll just alleviate a little bit of pressure.
Yeah, they weren't very fond of it, but they understood that ultimately it was my decision, and I told them,
Mhm.
next year you guys are off, so. They shouldn't have the run of city property, so, I mean, that's my opinion.
Okay.
All right, anything else? No? All right, old business. Excuse me.
Northeast Playground, we are done with the modular. We have 2 spinners to install. We were gonna start installing them today, but that corner is pretty much underwater after the rain. Which we do have a way to, we're gonna put tile line in on the outside to run the water away from the playground. But that modular is up and going. We got wood chips filled in there last week, at the end of the week, to the standard of where we needed them. So it's open for use.
Good.
I was pretty happy about the work we did last week, getting the rest of the slides and stuff installed. So the spinners should be fairly simple to get done, and then we can be done with that project and wrap it up.
You put the swings up?
Swings are not up until we get that big spinner in, 'cause we
Okay.
still have to access through where we
Sure.
pulled the timbers out. And I didn't wanna put swings up and not have wood chips, or put wood chips in and pack them down.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, I'm excited to hopefully get that thing wrapped up and be done with it. People have been playing on it, whether we had it hooked up or not, so.
I'm looking for the medallion too.
Yeah.
Spent a half hour there.
I guess that's about it for Northeast.
Okay, inclusive swing update.
So, we are above $20,000 raised for that swing. I hope to start breaking ground 1st of September. I mean, as soon as we wrap up Northeast, we'll start, we'll call in our locate, start excavating. Some of the work of building the swing will be donated. Still waiting to hear on if the concrete will be donated or not. We'll have more than enough money to complete the project that we wanted to complete. Now, whether we're gonna have enough money to add some of those standalone features, I don't know where we're at until we're done, or until I hear about concrete.
Was that what that orange paint was for?
Yep. Was it in orange? Yeah, maybe. I don't remember what color it was.
It was.
But yeah, so that layout is essentially just north of the sandbox, diggers, whatever. It fits in perfectly there. It goes north to south, so you're not gonna deal with sun. Yeah, I'll be excited to get that started and finished too. I know that's been, kind of a whirlwind and long time coming and trying to get things figured out, so. Otherwise, that's pretty much all I got.
Good. All right. Correspondence, anybody?
Next meeting, can we get an update on the Veterans Memorial?
Yep.
Yep.
How that, and how fundraising went at the fair and festival and all that stuff?
I can tell you that right now.
Oh, we can wait.
I know I went at festival, huh?
Festival was rough with all the rain.
Well, festival was rough because of volunteers, so. But I will tell you this, the Lions Club stepped in and helped out, so. It was nice.
All right.
Anyways, so our next meeting will be
September...
16th, isn't it?
16th, all right. All right, need a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second? Okay, motion is second. So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Meeting's adjourned.
I have a separate question. My granddaughters took swimming lessons, and they had the instructor, and then there was